Hello, 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 hello. My name is Jaimelyn Gray. I am the host of this program called You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. Got a little bit of a different show for you today. Had to navigate some things at the last minute because I was waiting to hear from somebody about possible interview, and it didn't work out. So I took a hard left and called up my friend James Pickering to see if he would have time to chat. And we just, thought we'd go over some current events that are happening in the community, and that did happen in the community, and just a wee chat about things, because this is about things in Milwaukee, sometimes a little bit outside, but mostly just Milwaukee. So here we go with that navigation, and that's what you got. All righty. And with me today, I have somebody who is rescuing me at the last minute, which I'm always grateful for and appreciative of, Mr. James Pickering, theater maker extraordinaire for a few years now in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But I tried to get Milwaukee Chamber Theater on here to talk about Top Dog Underdog, and they are very busy over there. And so I'm going to try again next week and see if we can get somebody from that production on next week. But for this week, we're just going to talk about just sort of current events type things that you've seen, that I've seen, that we're looking forward to seeing, because there's a few things open, and we're just gonna talk because we're good at that.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I know you are.
Yes, I can swing it with the best of them.
Yeah.
I've seen two very intriguing things in the last couple of weeks. One of them still running, and the other one was only there for 2 nights. The first one was the 2-nighter was Maya Danks's Hamlet and Ophelia, which I thought was an absolutely wonderful sort of experiment. It's quoting Shakespeare to your purpose. It was really great. Yeah. It was very well performed in a very intriguing space, which I had not been to before.
Yeah, you've never been to Dandy. That's
Dandy. Yeah.
It
instantly made me want to do a production of American Buffalo in that very site, because by all that cool stuff. And it has a bar. It's got a bar.
And it's got a bar.
It's got sofas. It's great.
But bar and sofas, yes. It was contemporary American theater, yes.
Extremely spirited reading, and I love the sort of non-binary casting of it with my old buddy Rebecca Farr as
Hamlet.
Melancholy Dane.
Yeah.
And my other old buddy Grace Barrett as the benighted Ophelia, and as the Gravedigger, in which I thought she absolutely excelled. Gave her another chance to sing. I didn't know she could sing like that. She sings like a bird.
Yeah.
It was all quite wonderful, and everybody else in it, a lot of people, a lot of really wonderful actors. Joe Pichetti was,
yeah. Yeah, it was a great bunch of casting in that staged reading. We did have Maya Danks on. I had Maya Danks on a few weeks back. So if you want to check out that interview, you can check out that interview as well if you're listening to this podcast. Because, and I say that because even though it was just a 2-night staged reading, she does have intent to take this and make it a full production at some point.
And she had the bravery to supply a QR code with the program and say, anybody got any comments about this? Just send them on in.
And give some feedback.
I don't know if I would have the, want to say, there it is, shut up. I'll fix it if it needs fixing, and I'll decide what that'll be. But no, probably now I'll start putting QR codes on for people. Yes, I had a long conversation with her the next day, and I sent her some of my cockamamie ideas, and I sent her a copy of I don't know if people are familiar, Shakespeare buffs are familiar with the director Charles Marowitz, who was with, I believe, the Royal Shakespeare Company for some time, and who wrote a number of what to call them treatments of various plays. In grad school, I was in his treatment of Hamlet, and I played Fortinbras in that. And Fortinbras is a much more major character in Charles Marowitz's mind than he was in Shakespeare's mind, clearly, because
hilarious
in this version of it, which has scenes transposed, it has the assignment of lines to other people. It is unlike Maya's wonderful work. It is only lines from Hamlet. There was a kid in school who once said, they asked him to do a book report on, or something like that, on a Shakespeare play, and one of the things that the teacher said was, you could always do Hamlet, and he says, Hamlet, that's just a bunch of famous quotes strung together. Anyway, that's sort of what Charles Marowitz is doing with his Hamlet, and I really love that sort of experimentation. I got a class coming up. I'm going to teach some Shakespeare. God help you all, students, at Next Act on the 21st of May. So I'm looking forward to that. I do a little dog and pony show of my own on how come Shakespeare wrote the way he did and why it shouldn't scare you, and what sort of are the rules, and how if you sort of follow Shakespeare's rules, you can make it clear to anyone. Clarity.
Yes.
Something that
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. And
that was huge. That was huge for me when I was learning Shakespeare. The little tips and tricks of breaking down Shakespeare into more discernible, in a more understandable way.
Right.
And
he uses devices. If he has a speech, if he has a couple of lines in a speech where that you have a difficulty saying them quickly, that's probably because he didn't want you to say them quickly. You have to take the time to say the complicated things that he has put down on the paper, because he's explaining something, or he's doing some sort of a character thing, like with Malvolio or somebody who talks in, a sort of a pompous way or something like that. So you shouldn't be afraid of it. You should embrace it and say, okay, what is it telling me? Or when the meter changes, or in, for example, in Much Ado About Nothing, the play is written in verse until the great sort of hinge incident of the play occurs. I mean, it's written in prose until the marriage scene in which Claudio blows up at Hero and accuses her of infidelity, after which the entire play is written in verse.
Yeah.
And I think that there is something, there is something in that. That was not a mistake. I mean,
no, not at all.
Forget to put the punctuation, and the typist didn't make that mistake.
Yeah.
He was doing that for a reason, and it's fun to try and figure out what that reason is.
Yeah.
So
do you still have room in that class?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I'm not doing the administrating of it.
Well, where can people go to find out about that?
Zach Woods. That's the nearest.
Zach Woods. Zach Woods will know the answer. So, but did you say that that's a rep class?
No, I don't. To tell you the truth, I do not know who is. I believe it's open to everyone, as far as I know. I know it's taking place at Next Act, and it's taking place on the 21st. So people at Next Act, like Libby Amato would know, I'm sure.
Well, I was just going to try and get a link for people right now.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what I was trying to do,
Of
Mr.
course,
Pickering.
I don't have a link.
I was trying to get people in your class, Mr. Pickering.
I know, I appreciate it. If I had a link, I don't live on links. The only
okay, I do.
I know you do.
This guy does.
You're much better than I.
This guy does. All right. Well, we'll try and find a link for people, and then put it in the comments and see if people see if spaces are still available for people to come. Because I do think the thing that I love about breaking down Shakespeare language is that it's so applicable to current language as well. Like you can take those skills and then apply it to modern day text,
Right.
and it will open up a whole new world for you.
Look at what we just finished. We finished a couple of weeks ago. We finished The Beauty Queen of Linan, and when you look at the rhythm and the sound
Yep.
that McDonough uses in that, there are clues to you to, for one thing, there are clues to you to, this might actually be funny.
Absolutely.
Or this is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He lets you know through the rhythm and sound of what he's doing. I also think sound can be neglected, because there are sounds which give clues, and there are words which give clues, like big words like time and love and king and so forth. Where you find them in the lines is very important. Often they're at the end of something or at the very beginning of something. So you've got to pay attention to that. You've got to go sort of, oh, God, this is kind of about time. So I should look through this and say, oh, yes, right. Okay, cool. And then your director will say, that's just utter gibberish. And
that's utter gibberish.
Nod sagely, and you say, yeah, I guess it is. And then you do it.
Yeah.
Do it, right.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Yes. So that's to say that, yes, you go back and listen to that interview with Maya Danks. That's a really great interview as well.
I hope that thing has legs. I hope that thing becomes a full production. And I know that she's constantly working on it. But the imagination she used to take dialogue, especially from Romeo and Juliet. I mean, early on in the show,
so
there are Hamlet and Ophelia in bed, and you go,
clever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a different sort of Hamlet. And they're doing,
really smart.
They're doing dialogue
really smart.
Romeo and Juliet. It's great. Very cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
I just realized I have a whole bunch of stuff here that people don't need to be looking at.
No links, though.
But I will try and find a link to your class, and
so will I. And when I do, I will zip it on to you.
Okay. But speaking of Next Act,
yes,
you also saw. I have not seen yet. You have seen. I have not.
Opening night of Circle Mirror Transformation. Now,
Circle Mirror Transformation over at Next Act.
Now, you may think that I'm prejudiced because a girl I know who lives actually in my house.
Yeah, you fancy a girl over there in that show.
And this chick is great.
On fire, is she?
She's just wonderful. It is, as I said, I think I said I gave a little Facebook blurb when it opened. It is as tight a piece of ensemble acting as you are likely to see. And that's the sort of acting I love. That's the sort of acting that we had when we were doing Beauty Queen. Of course, in this one, everybody's on stage, like virtually all the time.
Almost the whole time, yeah.
And it's a very specifically timed play. When
okay, well, let's just hold on for 1 second, because we're being real shady and cagey here. The person that we're talking about is
Tammy Workington. Tammy Workington, whom you have talked to recently about.
Who I spoke to last week about this show. So you can check out that interview as well. Last week. Because she had some wonderful things, some wonderful insider knowledge on that show that we do not have.
True.
So we are the outsider knowledge. She is the insider knowledge, and you, yes, and she happens to live in your house.
That's right. And all I know is I was sitting there going, yes. There are sometimes, and this happens frequently at Next Act. I've found it happened when David Cesarini was running the joint, and now that Cody is running the joint, they'll do plays that I'll be sitting there and watching, and I want to be in the play. I mean, I want to be in that right then. I want to go backstage, get in the costume, come out on stage, and be in the play.
Yeah.
Because they're just having so much fun.
Yeah.
And this is an example of that. The character development in this show is just really wonderful. You get to see people change through the sort of the theater games that they play. I mean, if you, as I believe Tammy said in your interview, don't be afraid of the theater games. They are a device, but they are a device which advances the action of the play in a wonderful way. So
Sure.
Anybody going to see this is going to really enjoy it. You don't need to know a thing about theater games. For one thing, it all gets explained because Tammy's the teacher and she explains it to her students. So there you are.
But a standard theater patron goer person will be able to understand the game and why it's happening.
That's
right on.
Right. It's about love and grief and humor and all those human things. And you will see yourself as at least one of the characters every once in a while. That's kind of fun. That's Annie Baker is the playwright, and she's really really good.
She's really smart. She's really, really smart. Really great. Really great.
I recommend that runs through the 18th of May.
Yeah, so you got a couple of weeks. You as in people out there and myself have a couple weeks to go out and see that one, definitely. And it's funny too. Yes,
very funny.
It's very funny. So it's funny and insightful, and some of the things that I've been seeing floating across the internet sphere is about human connection and just wanting to be more connected to other people, kind of thing. So you can go to nextact.org to check that out and get tickets for that. Something that I saw that I want to mention, because I thought it was fun, and you can't see it anymore, but this is just, to let you know that you should go out and see things when you can, because
before they disappear.
Otherwise, because theater is an ephemeral art, and once it's gone, kind of thing. But I saw Sister Act over at Skylight Music Theatre. I saw the Sister Act, and we had an interview. I had an interview with Molly Rohde a few weeks back. You can check out that interview with Molly, because Molly's just I think a good person to hear from and to know. Very smart lady. Very smart lady. Been born, Wisconsin, born and raised kind of person, and so person who really knows what it's like to be a theater artist in Wisconsin for a long time.
And for one thing, she's artistic director at Northern Sky Theater.
She is
in Door County, which is right near Fish Creek, and since Tammy and I, Tammy has written a play called George and Gracie, A Love Story, which is about the legendary comedians George Burns and Gracie Allen, who had the longest running sitcom in the history of television. People don't really know that, back in the 50s. And that play has been picked up and will be produced by Milwaukee Rep about a year from now.
Yeah.
In the process, we are going to do a workshop of it. But as the facilities at the Rep are all tumbled up because of the reconstruction of the entire building, the entire theater.
Yep.
Molly Rohde offered the use of the Gould Theater, the indoor theater, this summer up in Door County.
That's awesome.
Do that workshop. So we're all going to get a week in Door County. It's going to be hard work, but
hard work. Yeah, hard work.
Tammy and I will be up there along with the third character, John Riker, who was in Frankenstein and now is in something else. He works all the time, that kid. I'm very proud of him. And because, he's one of those guys that since I hung out in the dressing room with him for Christmas Carol, I taught him everything he knows. So
of course you did.
He seems to be dutifully grateful. And even more importantly, the third creative member of the creative team, Wolf Board, who is an internationally acclaimed clown and / magician, has performed all over the place, like from Berlin to Malaysia, who is going to be supplying the tricks and the magic and the clowning stuff for Tammy's play. And he will be involved for the first time in person in the workshop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Talking to him online. So we're extremely excited about that.
That's
And
awesome.
that's a ways away in the future, but whether we will actually have a demonstration of what we've done with the workshop or not, I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly how that's all going to play out, but we're really looking forward to jumping back into that now.
But that's awesome that she offered that to you. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, but that's to say, I saw Sister Act, and she also did an awesome job directing a really fun musical. I thought it was super fun.
Good. I'm
I
sorry.
really,
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. And I'm not a musical person. I'm just not. There's something about just the acting style and things that it's a little removed from me personally. But I have enjoyed stuff over at Skylight lately. I think Mr. Unger is picking some works that are really diverse, and I feel like they're really thinking really well about their season layout. We had an opportunity to go to an arts meeting recently over at Skylight, and Michael Unger and Susan Varela, executive director, went through how they chose this past season, which I thought was a really interesting an interesting meeting, and really fun to hear how they did that.
Yeah, people don't just get to sit in their office and go, I think I'll do that. And then I think we'll do this, and then we'll do that. Okay, that may be a wish list. And then when you come down to the absolute nuts and bolts of how to get the rights to them, who else might
how to make things happen, yeah.
It's very, very complicated, and
it is very complicated.
Hearing them go through it the way they go through it was great.
Yeah, I think that I don't think the average person knows the how challenging it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as like a small company like the Constructivists, a lot of rights hinge upon like the amount of money that you're going to make, and if they don't think that you're going to make enough money over the course of a run, they might just be waiting for a larger company to do that work to get more money and returns on.
And often larger theaters, for quite perfectly good reasons, will get the rights to something and not be sure when they're going to do it.
Right.
But they know that they're going to be the first theater in a given area to do something, because
to perform something. Yeah.
To perform something. And so you have to wait until they decide, no, we're not going to do that after all, before you can really apply for them and get the rights.
Yeah, and you don't know when there's been a couple of times where I've applied for something for the Constructivists and have gotten a rejection and not known why, and then sure enough, the year or two after, somebody will do that piece, and you're like, oh,
they were sitting on the rights. Okay,
well, that's how that works.
That's the biz.
That's the business. That's the plight of being a small company a lot of the time. But I really enjoyed that. But again, you can't see that because it's over.
Right.
But something else that you can see that neither of us have seen yet is Top Dog Underdog.
I'm going to try and fix that this weekend. Looking forward to that very much. Yes.
Is that your plan, to see it this weekend? Okay. Yep. I'm out of town this weekend, so I'm gonna catch it another week. But I'm really looking forward to that piece. I've heard nothing but good things out of those two actors. It's a two-person play. Really intense, two brothers. That's why I want to get somebody on from there to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully next week I would love to get DeMonte Henning back on this program and have him talk about it.
Yeah.
But I will hear from you then this weekend, your thoughts about what you think.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
What? You what?
talk about vampires.
Ooh,
Can
well,
you
yeah.
do
I guess
that?
I just we just announced on social media and the website are under construction.
Yeah.
2025 under construction is our play development series, the Constructivist play development series.
Yeah.
The playwright that we picked this year submitted and is a mentee of Calamity West, who was the playwright of our fall production in the Canyon, and Emily A. Beck is our playwright's name. Her connection to Calamity is a playwriting thing down in Chicago.
Yeah.
And now we have the space and opportunity to give her the next step in her process and do a public staged reading. It'll be a free reading. I'm still figuring out dates and place and things like that. I'm just running into conflicts and all kinds of things all over the place. It's just a busy time, particularly with like Memorial Day coming up and things like that just trying to find the right time to do our under construction reading and our season announcement party.
Right. But on a certain scale, that's kind of a good thing, because that means there's so much theater going on.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of navigation that has to work around to I just want the most amount of people to be able to come to this reading as possible and come to our season party as possible. And a lot of the dates that are coming up, like the first weekend of June, a lot of our people are involved in our people as in like our network, the Constructivist network, are involved in Henry V over at the Big Red Church over there. And so I just want to have the best possible chance to get the most people there. And so we will have more information about when that reading will happen as soon as I know it. But Vampires is, again, by Emily A. Beck, and she had 5 years experience as a 911 operator, which blows my mind.
Right. And that's just how the play begins, isn't it?
That is, yes, but that's, I mean, that's just, I can't imagine doing that for 5 years.
Yeah.
As an artist, because she was an acting major and then she went into 911 operating, and like and she says it's the greatest acting job she's had in her life.
Right.
And you'll see how that transpires in this play, how that acting,
the stories from life in that situation must be fertile ground.
Yeah.
I mean, good, especially when you have the undead involved, which always spices everything up, for God's sakes.
Well, don't give it all away, sir. Let people.
It's called vampires. I'm not seeing.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So I read it and I gave it to a couple of the company members, and they read it and they said it was very much in the Constructivist vein, and so that's what. Vein.
This vein right here.
That one right there. And so that's what we're going to be doing this year for 2025. And like I said, I'll get more information out to everybody as soon as we know it. Just trying to be the best community member I can possibly be.
That's right. Yeah, navigating these things for Constructivists is often like the way a moped navigates a very busy intersection.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
And policemen screaming past, you know.
Well, because I don't like
your eyes open.
I don't like to step on people's toes. I don't like to step on people's toes. I don't like to poop on other events. You know, I try to be as genial and giving of a community member as I possibly can, and just work.
You're much better at seeing everything than I am. I get to be.
Well, I've got a little bit of an access to and Kelly Rambold helps me out a lot with calendar things and just navigating community events to work our best. So there's that. So then a couple of other things that we've got going on. Our friend Maggie Marks is over in Enchanted April at Waukesha Civic, which is something that we don't often report on because it's not in Milwaukee County. It's in Waukesha County, and a lot of times. But we love Maggie Marks, and I just have to give her a shout out. Absolutely. Wonderful Milwaukee actor.
Yeah.
If you've never seen, oh, I should give the Constructivist website though. If you want to check out, Maggie Marks has been in a Constructivist show. If you saw Totalitarians a few years back, she was wonderful and amazing, and I can't wait to get her in another show.
I directed her at Sun Studios.
Sunstone, yeah.
Sunstone Productions in Maya Danks's adaptation of Titus Andronicus by William Shakespeare, and she was bloodthirsty. She was great.
And wonderful and amazing. Yeah. But for our stuff, you can go to theconstructivist.org to check out constructivist stuff. Check that out. Waukesha Civic. I don't know but you can Google them. Anything else? What else have we got coming up? Anything? Everybody's sort of winding down.
Yes.
Renaissance has Brink.
That they have Brink coming up.
Right? Renaissance has their Brink Festival coming up. I can probably get somebody back on to talk about that. That's coming up in a few weeks. That's not this week. It's coming up in a few weeks here, but Brink is coming up.
This coming Monday, I will be attending a memorial for my dear friend Jonathan Smootz, an absolutely wonderful actor and director whom I have known for well over 40 years, and there should be all sorts of people coming back here from the past whom I can't wait to see. Even though it's on a very melancholy occasion, still, it's celebrating Jonathan. There is a lot to celebrate.
There's a lot to celebrate. Yeah. I did not. I'm a very I'm an outsider as far as he's concerned, but I remember Jonathan Smootz. Jonathan Smootz was the best Malvolio I've ever seen in my life. This was way back in 1995.
Right.
Something in that area. His Malvolio was so good, I can still see him in my head. Reading the letter.
Yes.
I can still actively see him in my headspace as that. He was so good as Malvolio, just best Malvolio I've ever seen in my life. But
yes, he knew his way around the Bard of Avon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I envied him the number of different Shakespearean plays that he's been in. Really just dwarfed the number that I've been in. But then he was at American Players Theater, where they do a lot of Shakespeare, which I like.
Yeah, they do some Shakespeare over there, don't they? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's coming up on Monday. That's at Next Act. If you were unaware, you can probably go to Next Act website and social media. I do think that it's at capacity. I think people have RSVP'd, but there is going to be a link to a video stream if you are interested in participating in the video stream. If you
go to nextact.org, there somewhere. you will find information about that.
You will find the information that you need to find to celebrate his life. And yes, it was a very sudden passing, and I feel for all of you that's just one of those things that is just not fair.
Nope.
That's what happens in life. Life is like that sometimes.
And that's why we do theater.
And that's why we do theater. Yes. Yeah.
To do some life squared, if you will.
Life squared. And we laugh and we cry, and it's better than cats.
It's better than cats.
Because let's be frank, there are lots of things better than cats. The musical, not the actual animal, because I send my husband lots of videos about cats because I hope someday cats will be mine. The actual animal, not the musical, the actual animal.
Good to know. Right. Okay.
Just letting you know. Get
your Christmas sorted out. Yeah.
I would appreciate it.
Certainly.
Well, sir, we have talked about lots of things today. Well, several important things. So if you need to find out some things that are happening within the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance community, go to our website at MilwaukeeTheatreAlliance.org. You can check that out.
Yep.
And or any of the other websites of the companies that we talked about.
Good.
Any other good words from you before we go?
That's what I got. Nope. That's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll pull you in the next time that we need to talk about all the things.
Please do, and I'll have seen a few more things by then.
Absolutely.
Delighted.
And have a great time at Top Dog Underdog this weekend.
I will. I guarantee it. All right. Take
all
care.
right, sir. Be well.
We'll
talk to you again soon.
Good.
Bye. Bit of a talk. Yeah. See, we can talk for a good long time. We're probably going to talk a lot longer than that because we're just those kind of people, and pulling rabbits out of our butts kind of thing. I just made that up. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed just the little chat that we had there. And I hope that you come back next week, and hopefully I can get somebody from Top Dog Underdog, because I'd love to hear about that from the inside. Get the little bit of the background insider talk about that show. So there you go. And thank you again for joining me and us, and we'll see you next week on You've Got a Thing.